Lemonade was making headlines before it even issued its first policy. The home and renters insurance startup has raised more than $180 million in funding and has become the darling of the insurtech community. I'm Kate Smith with AM Best TV. Joining me to discuss his new book, The Making of Lemonade, is Ty Sagalow. Ty helped build Lemonade. He was one of its founding members and served as its first chief insurance officer. He now serves on the board of directors of Lemonade Insurance Company. Ty, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Kate.
Lemonade was founded by two Israeli entrepreneurs who had no experience in insurance. So what prompted you, an established insurance executive, to hop on a plane and fly to Israel to meet with Daniel Schreiber and Shai Wininger?
Well, you know, I spent my entire life before Lemonade in legacy insurance companies in innovation. And doing, you know, what I thought at the time to be really fun things, like creating Y2K insurance and creating cyber insurance. But after, 25 years of doing things of that at AIG and a few years at Zurich doing things like that, I became disappointed in how the insurance industry is helping or not really helping the community. That somehow we strayed away from what insurance originally was. At the founding of Lloyd's of London and many, many examples of insurance being about people helping other people, whether it was about ship captains working together, so if any of the ships went down on the way to the new land, they would all pay for it to be rebuilt, or firefighters helping out the widows of firemen that were killed on duty. Insurance began as us, and somehow, somewhere along the line, it turned into we versus them.
Best Review magazine a few years ago wrote a profile on Lemonade. It was right around the time that the company launched, and we described the structure of the company, and at the time it was called peer-to-peer. It's straight from that. Why has that changed?
That it was that our most important value proposition was about community and the giving back of community. So that's why we have the annual give back. That's why that at the end of the onboarding process, which takes 3 minutes, you have, as our applicant, 15 charities to choose from. You choose the charity that is most important to you. And then we group all the people that chose the same charity into one group. And if that one group is profitable, then the excess profits go to the charity that is chosen by that group. And that was, at the beginning, our most important value proposition. And that's why we were called peer-to-peer insurance. That's how we created peers. After a while, what we realized was, while that value proposition rang very true with reporters that were able to compare the company to Uber and Airbnb, and we were rapidly called the Uber of insurance, it didn't resonate with our customers. They liked the idea of the charity. Don't get me wrong. It's one of the main reasons why they chose Lemonade in addition to others. But peer-to-peer seemed too media. So what we ended up doing is changing our identifier to more of who we were, which was a company built on artificial intelligence and behavioral economics.
So your book is separated into stories. It's a series of stories. What is and we've talked about a lot of stories already, but what's your favorite Lemonade story?
All right, I'll give you this one. Brilliant young man. He was a founding member of Lemonade named Moshe Lieberman. And Moshe was our head coder. And one time, I remember calling Moshe and saying there was a change that I had to make, and it was really, really important. And he said to me, Ty, I'm in Tel Aviv, I'm driving my car, I won't be able to make this change. And I knew it was kind of a complicated change. He said, I won't be able to make this change until I get home, and then it's going to take a long time. And I said, okay, well, wait until you get home. Don't try to do it while you're driving. How long will it take? And he said, Ty, I got to tell you, it's going to take a full 10 minutes. And he wasn't kidding. To Moshe, 10 minutes is a long time. That's what a real top-notch global coder can do.
Well, you had mentioned lessons. So I'm interested to hear what lessons you learned from working with Lemonade. You had headed up innovation for companies like AIG and Zurich North America. Then you go to this startup. What did you learn that you had gotten wrong all those years?
Kate, it was really a humbling experience. I mean, as my mother would say, I was a big mocker in legacy innovation. I was a chief innovation officer of AIG, obviously known for its innovation. I actually thought I knew this stuff. I concluded that Wall Street has nothing on Silicon Valley, Israel, Tel Aviv, New York, when it comes to innovation. And I'll give you two examples. And I have this in my book. When I was heading up innovation in Legacy, the goal was to create and launch the perfect product. Now, you knew you weren't going to make it, but you wanted to get as close as you can to launch the perfect product that would never have to change. So when I was in Lemonade, Shai said to me at one point, "We're trying to create MVP here, Ty." For my life in me, I couldn't figure out what most valuable player had anything to do with what we were doing. And then Moshe says to me, whispers in my ear, says, MVP stands for minimally viable product. What that means is you launch a product which is the minimum of what you can get away with, just barely enough to get it into the marketplace in order to get feedback from your customers, and with the theory that you're going to be rapidly changing it and rapidly improving it. But when he first said that to me, I looked at him and I said, Moshe, I don't get it. Minimally viable product? Are you saying that we're planning to be imperfect? And he said, yes, Ty. So the lesson here, my personal lesson, was not just that I never heard of the words MVP, minimally viable product, or I never heard of the words A/B testing. The concept was foreign to me. And what those two things have in common is that it's true customer-centric innovation, not just as a marketing phrase, but as something in your DNA. You realize it is not your job to create the perfect product. It's not your job to create a great product. It is your customer that will tell you how to change the product. And if you have that type of humility, then you can be successful.
So what are you seeing in terms of trends in insurtech?
So there are many great trends happening in insurtech these days, and technology as it affects insurance. I'll name three. Okay. Online capital formation, right? Crowdfunding. Okay. But it goes beyond just crowdfunding because there's regulation A and D. So think of it as online capital formation. The problem from an insurance point of view is that these companies have the same obligations as the big guys under state corporate law, breach of fiduciary duty. They have the same obligations under the Securities and Exchange Act, 10b-5, 14a, 20a, securities fraud. They have all the same obligations. But the D&O insurance industry, which is the part of the insurance industry that is designed to help out in those situations, by and large want to have nothing to do with these folks. So, again, what's the answer? Two guys in the garage. And there's a great company out there, in full transparency, I'm involved in it, called Surely, that has created, in partnership with XL AXA, again, an MGA to provide D&O insurance for the first time ever, to online capital formation and crowdfunding. Really cool. The other things, of course, is cryptocurrency, blockchain, number of great companies looking at that, both in the United States and overseas. I'm involved in a number of MGAs that are looking at that area. And then third is legal tech, and what's called the Moneyball theory of outside counsel selection. So there are companies out there, there's one called Premonition that has put together the largest database of civil litigation together with an algorithm that calculates comparative win rates between lawyers. So think of it again as the Moneyball of outside counsel selection. So a lot of great trends out there. Those are three that are my favorites.
Ty, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you, Kate.
For AM Best TV, I'm Kate Smith.